Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. And another heavyweight news mashup video today, and we do have some fight news to announce later in the video. But first, Fury Wilder 3. It's looking increasingly likely that Macau could be the destination for the trilogy fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, and that's according to Fury's co-promoter Bob Arum. So he's spoken to IFL TV saying, due to the handling of the current pandemic, it's possible that Stadia could be open to crowds in China more broadly by November or December. And he has been eyeing an arena in Macau that seats 10,000 that they could stage the fight at. And that is his hope potentially, but that would be dependent on the go-ahead of the local government, but also a site fee would factor into whether the fight heads to Macau. And the top-ranked boss, he's also in the same interview and also more broadly in other interviews recently mentioned Australia as another possible destination. My view is, I think they're pretty much looking at China and China only at this point. Macau with the site fee seating 10,000, that seems to be something if they can get a decent site fee and a decent gate revenue on that fight, something that they could look to push for. I think the mention of Australia is to keep it as a destination, just to sort of, there's a couple in the mix, but I'm not so sure how really in the mix it is. And my thoughts on why that is because there would be no Australian in the fight. You have to remember that Australia, like New Zealand where I am, boxing is a very niche sport, and big boxing events hinge on having a local fighter. There certainly is more interest when there's a local fighter, even though it would be the heavyweight champion against a former long-reigning heavyweight champion. If it was in Australia, I'm not so sure it would do as well as they potentially think, but just my view on that. But I think Macau is the front runner for a reason. They'd probably be able to get a crowd from what they're talking about, and the reason they're looking outside of the United States at the moment is because the current pandemic, a crowd of that sort of size, 10,000, is unlikely to be allowed at this point in anywhere in America because of the current pandemic. Whereas if they do take it to Macau and they can get 10,000 in the arena, generate something close or approaching to the $16 million that they raised in the rematch, I think that would sort of make sense for them to take it to Macau. Not everyone would like that, but you know, it could be just one of these things due to the current circumstances that it's a necessity to generate sort of the money that they're looking for in the third fight. Meanwhile, Arum is also confident that if Tyson Fury does beat Deontay Wilder in the third fight and Anthony Joshua beats Kubrat Pulev, that an undisputed fight, a deal could be put together in a day. He says of that potential fight, I don't think the negotiations would be fraught with difficulty. We could negotiate the deal if we met in person over the course of a day. We are not known for playing mind games. We understand Eddie. I worked for many years with his father Barry. My prediction would be we get a deal done over the course of one day. And just of Tyson Fury, so he's been in the media saying that he would like the richest deal in boxing. So he's coming towards the end of his current deal with ESPN and Top Rank. He's co-promoted by Top Rank along with Queensbury Promotion, telling TalkSport, I want to get that big major fight deal. I want to break all the records for a British fighter to go overseas and get the biggest signing record in history. I know that with MTK Global, Top Rank and Frank Warren, and all of the guys who help in between, I know that they can make that happen. I know that we can break history with the biggest fight contract in the history of boxing. Bigger than Floyd Mayweather, bigger than Canelo Alvarez, bigger than Mike Tyson, bigger than everybody. So Tyson Fury optimistic about what his next contract might hold, and that he could be onto that at some point in 2021. Tyson Fury's division rival Anthony Joshua, who holds 3 of the 4 major titles, says that he understands his current mandatory challenger in the IBF, Kubrat Pulev, understands why he wouldn't want to step aside. So he says, if I'm going to be honest, if I was the same as Pulev, I wouldn't step aside either. So Pulev's entitled to do exactly what he wants. He's in the position to fight me, so if he wants the opportunity to fight, he sticks to his guns. But if he wants to see, the 2 world champions in Great Britain clash, then step aside. But that's the only options. If he wants to fight me and he's confident, come get this work. Or if you would rather sit back and watch what happens with me and Tyson Fury, that option's there as well. Moving on to some fight news. The undefeated 11-0 heavyweight Lukasz Rozanski, best known for knocking out Izo Agono in 2019, has announced that he will be fighting on June 20 in Poland. So this is a fight night that will be held at a hotel. It's unclear of all the details at this point, but he is going to be in the ring, opponent TBA. So it'll be interesting to see how they sort of do this, along with a lot of other events around the world. Closed doors, limited fans or no fans. So this will be another night clearly that's going to be broadcast, but potentially have very little audience in attendance. But Rozanski, he's a fun fighter. It's hard to say how far he'll go in the heavyweight division, but it'll be good for him to get a bit of a run out, and let's hope that it's not going to be another pay-per-view. Remembering in Poland in a week or so, you're going to have Mariusz Wach and Kevin Johnson on pay-per-view for 20 Polish zloty, which is about £3 or £4 in the UK, $5 in the US, and about $8 or $9 in New Zealand and Australia. Little bit more fight news. Jared Anderson has been added to the card featuring Shakur Stevenson. So Anderson, an up-and-coming heavyweight prospect, currently 3-0. He's been confirmed to face Johnny Langston. And also on that card is going to be Guido Vianello. So this was announced a week or so ago that he would be on that card. His opponent is going to be Don Hainsworth. Hainsworth is a guy that's previously fought China's Zhili Zhang. I would expect Vianello will have not too many issues with Hainsworth, who is limited. Vianello currently 6-0. And just rounding up this heavyweight news mashup video, Billy Nelson has confirmed that Martin Bakole has signed a new 3-year management contract with him. Bakole coming into the prime of his career, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do in the next couple of years if given the right opportunities, because he clearly looks ready for a good fight. And Billy Nelson, he will be along for the ride, and I'm sure he was doing a little bit of this, see the dancing on screen, after locking up Bakole for the next 3 years. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often, hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.